So Spirit really just wants to let you know that you are doing amazing. You're doing so well, and it's really hard for us to always see our process and how far we've come because we're so close. It's kind of like when you have a kid, or when you have a puppy or a kitten, or you're raising a baby of some kind. You're with them every single day, so you see them, and then all of a sudden, after like 3 months, you're like, oh my gosh, like this dog is like almost fully grown. I don't know how long dogs take to fully grow, but you're like, oh my god, what happened to all the time? Like, how did this dog get so big? That's kind of like the parallel to like your life. You're like so close to your life, obviously, because you're the one experiencing it, you're the one going through the motions every single day, that you're not even able to see your growth. And then you're in a completely different like period of your life and like phase of your life, and you don't even remember like where you were. They're like, think back to 3 months ago where you were. Think back to a year ago, 2 years ago. Like, where were you? Like, what was happening in your life that back then, and how far have you come? Like, what things were you struggling with back then that you're like, oh, that's easy, or like, oh, thank God I learned that lesson. But now you're here at your current phase of life, and you're like, you're struggling with certain things, you're going through certain things, and you're like, oh, like I wish I was there. And so it's just this like recognition that Spirit is guiding you to have of how like amazing you're doing, like how far you've come. You literally have gone through this whole entire process, and it's so beautiful, and you're doing like so amazing. And there's a need to like recognize that in yourself and really see yourself, and take a moment to honor that, and take a moment to love yourself for how far you've come, instead of like always like projecting your wants and what you are trying to get to in the future. They're like, take a moment to kind of have a full circle moment where you're like, oh my gosh, I was there, or like, oh my gosh, that was on my mood board last year, and I'm here, and now like I'm wanting this next thing, and it feels like I'm so far behind and all these things. But in reality, like, we all have our separate journeys, we all have our separate timelines, and no one is ahead of each other, no one's behind each other, and everyone is learning what they came here to learn. And so they're like, just honor this phase that you're at, this amazing growth that you've had, and like do that, and like practice that gratitude through this process. Like, practice the gratitude of growth and learning and like all of this. I love this message because it's really like, it's like kind of like a motherly message of like just being like, you're doing amazing, and you just gotta like pat yourself on the back and remind yourself of that. Yes, you want to keep going. Yes, you have things that you want to do and you want to achieve, and that you are looking towards, and that's so exciting. But it's like, when you get so stuck in the future minded things, it's easy to kind of like hate on your current self, and completely forget about your past self. And they're like, that past self like needs to be honored, like that inner child version of you, even if it's like 3 months ago. That's a way to like connect to your inner child, because that version of you only knew what it knew 3 months ago, and now you know what you know now. It's almost like, write a list about like all these things that you've learned and you've accomplished, so you can see them written, and you get to notice how much you've done, because that can be so hard to realize all these things. Especially, feels like I'm talking to a collective that really goes for things and really wants to achieve things and like get to the next level and whatever, but it's like that is so beautiful, but if you're always living in that, it's never going to feel satisfying. It's never going to feel you never get to feel that feeling of like being content, you know? And when you practice that feeling of content, it only draws your desires in more clearly. Yeah, I think that, I don't know, it's like such a motherly energy that is like being channeled right now, and that's coming through. And it feels like so gentle, and I feel so calm right now. And they're like, be in the present moment, like be like be in this moment and appreciate yourself, appreciate your amazingness, appreciate your bravery, appreciate your courage, because you got yourself to this point. And there were some freaking obstacles, man. Like there were some freaking obstacles, and you got through that, and you like made it on the other side. I'm hearing like maybe it was like coming out of like childhood trauma, or healing from some really dark shit, like going through some really hard times, maybe a bad relationship, like maybe, yeah, just bad relationship with parents, maybe a narcissist, like all of these things, or like a bad, I'm hearing like the word drug, like bad drug place that you were at, like just bad habits, you know, like bad people, bad crowd. Like there could be, almost like getting so many honks, like there, you freaking made it through that. Like you made it through that on the other side. And it's like, I literally just used this song in one of my Instagram stories, but it's like the Justin Bieber song, like life is worth the living, ooh, 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 ooh. Also, I'm not a singer, so that was like terrifying to be able to sing that for you guys. But it's like that, where it's like you made it through that, and now life is worth living. Like it's literally beautiful, and you get to appreciate it, not being led by this like survival instinct or this, you know, this need to achieve the next thing. Like really sitting in this like admiration for yourself, because it does feel like I'm hearing the word dark period, like you've overcome a dark period of your life. I'm getting confirmation burps as well. So yeah, it's such a beautiful energy, and I hope you guys are feeling it as well, and that I'm portraying it through, you know, the screen to you guys. But it's really, it's like, wow, like holding your chest and just like being like, you did it, you know, you did it. And I always like talk to myself, I go by both Helen and Lena, but like I always call myself Lena, and I'm just like, you did it, Lena, you know, like after like realizing you're coming out of a dark period, it's like you freaking did it. And like just saying that and noticing, like connecting with your inner child just for a moment, just being like, we freaking went through that, and we did it, and we're here, and I'm grateful, you know. And that's what your inner child needs right now. Like that's what your inner self needs, just a little bit of coddling and recognition and love, and like honoring this latest phase of your life. So that's like really beautiful energy. It's like very gentle, and like you guys are doing amazing. You guys have been through so much, and I feel so proud of you, because it's just like this energy is like, yeah, we did it. We freaking did it. And that's so beautiful. So beautiful. Well, I think that's it for tonight. And I'm just checking really quick. Yeah, I think that's it for tonight. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.